Joining us once again is our legal expert, Mindy, Montford, a defense attorney here in Austin. Thank you for sticking around with us this hour. Just to recap, because there's a lot to ingest here, 10 people have been arrested on charges ranging from money laundering to drug dealing to weapons dealing. IRS going after them for fraud and tax evasion. Mike Yassine, a person of interest in a cold case from a homicide 12 years ago. Round Rock police investigating witness tampering. We've heard rumblings of possible terrorist ties to Hezbollah. Where do you start? I mean, how do you see this legal process proceeding?
I think now we know exactly why you had 3 parts to the story.
Right, exactly.
There are so many layers, and of course, this could be one of the reasons we're not seeing a bond being granted immediately. You've got so many layers. They're investigating things, and I'm telling you, the minute you throw in terrorism there,
sure,
that's bound to, keep them in jail at least until it's investigated and they know there is no terrorism connection.
And this was an organized sting by several different governmental departments, and the Austin police even got involved. How many different groups are going after these guys?
There's no telling, and the groups you just named were all part of the investigation, and then ultimately the seizure of the boxes we saw on the news, and they're coming out, and the arrests, all of the raids. That took a huge coordinated effort. And don't you know that they've been doing this for quite some time? This was not an overnight investigation. They have been tight-lipped about it, so I doubt that all of those entities were involved to that extent from the beginning. They probably brought them, in closer to the time of the raid so that it didn't get out.
Right. And the employees, not to mention, they are out of work now, and so can the employees go after them for non-payment of wages?
I suppose they could. I know there's at least one lawsuit that's pending right now because they were not getting paid the minimum. They were just accepting tips.
Right.
And I think we're seeing part of the problem here was there wasn't a record of a lot of this. It was done sort of with cash.
Right.
So why you see the IRS getting involved.
Exactly.
And so there's just, there's no telling how many different people are going to go after them, but right now their biggest concern is that they are facing, up to life in prison on a variety of charges in federal court, and that is not something that you want to take lightly.
Toughest question right here. With everything that we know as of right now, how do you see this ending? How long will it drag out? Well,
you've got just so many charges. You've got so many defendants. As you said, so many agencies involved. This is not something that we're going to see resolved in a month, in 2 months. It's going to be drawn out, and they want to make sure that all the evidence. This is the tip of the iceberg, especially because you've got these other allegations out there. We're going to have to see, where this investigation goes. It sounds like they're still investigating certain angles.
Right.
So there's just no telling what we're going to find out later on.
Thank you so much for being with us this morning, Mindy.